This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. The best way to learn something, complete a long-term project, or pick up healthy routine is to form habits. Without a habit, you have to use self-control. Hey, Oreo ice cream cake, I'm going out now. I'm going to the gym instead. See? I'm putting my gym clothes in the bag. Oh, what's that you say? You'll miss me. Oh, geez, I'll just come over to make sure you're okay. And you're more than okay. You're delicious. You're amazing. You're, oh, Oreo ice cream cake, take me away. We hate self-control. Fortunately, there's a better way. Blind, unthinking habit. If you set up habits, all of the self-control energy is freed up to devote to doing the actual work. But forming habits is hard. Ironically, it takes self-control. And try as we might, we still don't end up using that gym membership more than once a week, or month, or year. So, we need to find a way to make the habit stick. And one way to do that is to use a trigger. Find the trigger that you're going to attach the habit to. A trigger to spur a certain activity can be anything. An unconscious one is light. When the sun streams through our windows in the morning, eyes snap open and we jump into the awesomeness of our day. Unless you're like me and you use blackout curtains so that you don't have to wake up until it's dark enough outside and time to feed. The next thing is that you get to choose the trigger for the habits that you're establishing. You can choose a specific time of day to do the habit. I mean, most of us brush our teeth right before bed or right before breakfast. You can choose a place for the habit. If you're trying to read more books, the trigger could be that comfy chair by your bookcase. It'll become your reading chair. Sit in the chair, grab a book, and start reading. Or you could choose a person, like a running buddy or a gym buddy. Intern MG just got back from Cirque du Soleil where he saw a juggler. Not just a juggler, a super juggler. A juggler who was tossing 6 pins hundreds of feet in the air with one hand. And of course, MG just has to learn everything epic that he sees, which makes his humility all the more insufferable when he masters it. So he decided to learn to juggle. To establish a habit of practicing juggling, MG chose his lunch break as the trigger. Every day at noon, he would go far, far back into the copy room and juggle. Now the trick is attaching the habit to the trigger. Practice or rehearse the habit when the trigger occurs. Perfect your ability to do the habit by consciously practicing it connected to the trigger. If your trigger is a room, go into the room. Practice. Leave the room. If you're going to practice, if possible, recreate the trigger first or do it again in that room. If your trigger is a time, be rigorous about how close to that time you practice. If the time is noon, don't wait until 12:15. Be ready at 11:55 and then hit it right on the mark. It will lend ceremony and style to your new habit. Think of it as a Japanese tea ceremony with juggling pins. As long as you connect the trigger to the habit, you can do whatever aspect of the habit makes sense. Intern MG decided to learn 3 or 4 basic juggling strokes, but each time his lunch break comes around, he practices a different one. He's practicing the same skill at the same time, but he's varying what kind of practice he does, which is okay. If your habit is working out, the trigger is about getting to the gym. Once you're there, you can do any workout you like. Once you've rehearsed the trigger, use good old-fashioned carrots and sticks to reinforce the habit. Help reinforce the habit by rewarding yourself. Grinding through your new routine is okay, but doing it with style is super fun. After you're done with the new skill, reward yourself. When MG finishes a full 15-minute practice session, he rewards himself with a stroll to a nearby cafe and a cup of espresso. Because apparently what 21-year-old hyperactive hipster overachievers need is more caffeine. Choose the reward to reinforce the good habit. Trying to go to the gym every day? Reward yourself afterward with a sauna followed by a nutritious avocado egg and salmon crepe. That's what I have. Trying to floss more? Reward yourself with a refreshing gargle of mouthwash. And then lollipops. No, just kidding. Skip the lollipops. After a whole month of intense juggling, Intern MG rewarded himself with a set of new chrome juggling pins with yellow stars on the tips. He rewarded himself and contributed to the habit all at once. Go easy, but remind yourself if you miss a day. Because if you forgot your habit someday, simply realizing that you've forgotten is progress. Of course, don't reward yourself, but when you realize you've forgotten, it's the perfect time to remind yourself. Mentally, make an image of yourself in the future doing the habit the next time the trigger comes around. So see yourself encountering the trigger and then doing the habit successfully as soon as future you encounters the trigger. Make sure that you know it's in the future when you're doing the visualization. Once you've done that, go on with your day with no second thoughts. And you know what? Not only should you have no second thoughts, but when you're doing a habit, you should have no first thoughts. Indeed, sometimes it's good not to think about something. Procrastination comes from thinking, always. Our thinking is what makes us procrastinate before vacuuming the living room, dealing with that stack of unopened bills, or base jumping. But once a habit is established, there's no thinking. When we brush our teeth, we just do it. Indeed, at least for me, once a habit's established, skipping the habit is what requires thinking and effort. When it's time for your new habit, remember the lessons of the juggling pins. Choose a trigger, time, place, or person. Rehearse the trigger consciously several times to start building muscle memory, so you rehearse the trigger into the new habit. Then, use rewards to help reinforce the habit and repeated trigger rehearsal if there are times that you don't quite remember. And pretty soon, you'll be auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. And if you get in, I would love it if you could swing me house seats and maybe an underwear party with the cast. This is Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I run webinars and other programs to help people be extraordinarily productive and build extraordinary careers. If you want to know more, and you do, visit steverobbins.com. That's SteverRobbins.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.